Turns out we got 3 James Bond films in 2015. Spectre, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and Kingsman The Secret Service. Kingsman The Secret Service is the new film directed by Matthew Vaughn, director of Kick-Ass, and it is also co-written by him too. It's the story of a young adult called Eggsy who's from London. Eggsy becomes an apprentice and trainee in the secret organisation part of the government called the Kingsmen. He is taken under the wing of Galahad, who was played fantastically by Colin Firth, and whilst he's being trained, Richmond Valentine, played by Samuel L. Jackson, he is an environmentalist and also pretty much Kingsman's version of Bill Gates. And he hatches a plan to save nature by eradicating the virus he knows as the human race. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Kingsman The Secret Service was a fucking fun film. It was entertaining, it was hilarious, and it was more Bond-like when Bond has been in years. Alright? It's one of the best films of 2015 for sure. First off, let's talk about the action scenes in this film. The action scenes are behind Mad Max Fury Road, but ahead of everything else in 2015, including John Wick, which is a hard task to accomplish, but the scenes in this are done in a way that are frantic, kinetic, and visually pleasing, whilst being also batshit insane. For example, there is a scene in this film which takes place in a church. I don't want to spoil it, but it's probably the best action scene all year. Probably going to be next year too. The way it's shot, it's a giant one long take full of blood and gore. That's another thing, this film is fucking violent. Heads explode, people get shot, people get decapitated. It's glorious. And it's still not an 18 either, really, it's a 15. Now, unlike recent Bonds, this film actually has gadgets and throwbacks to the original Bonds. Colin Firth in this film even says the old Bond films were only ever as good as the villains in them. And that's very true of Kingsman. It has an amazing villain, Samuel L. Jackson plays Valentine, and like every Bond villain, he has a deformity. His deformity is a lisp, and that makes some jokes, but he's also scared of blood, which is very interesting and makes us some wonderful humour. I don't know the actor's name for the person who plays Eggsy, the protagonist of this film. I've never seen him in anything else before, but I really hope to see him in more stuff because he is phenomenal in this film. I think it might even be his first major role. You would never know that. Whilst the story might tread some familiar ground, that doesn't hold it back at all because it's presented in such an energetic way. You just don't give a shit. You're along for the ride. It's a classic Bond film. It's a whole lot of fun. The film isn't afraid to hold back either. Innocent people do die in this, and main characters do die a lot. There are lots of deaths in this film, some of them completely innocent civilians as well. And I thought the film was going to hold back just at the last minute, but no, it went full Motley and slaughtered a whole lot of people. It's great to see a film have balls like that. Now this film is almost perfect in my eyes. There's one flaw, I think, maybe two. One flaw and one gripe. The flaw would be, by the time the film finishes, there are still a few character arcs which have no ending. The film just ends abruptly and didn't give closure to some of the characters or their stories. They're just kind of like left hanging. Now, there is going to be a sequel to this, and hopefully we'll see some resolution and evolution with their characters in sequels, but as this as a standalone film, you will be disappointed by some of the endings for the characters, which are just left out. Now, there is a middle credit scene, showing the credits, and that helped tie up the film a lot better than the actual ending does, so I suggest making sure you watch that. And like I said, I do have one gripe. I think the film doesn't earn its 2 hours and 10 minutes runtime. I think it should have been cut down to 2 hours, and it would have been perfect in terms of length. However, there's no scene in this film that I would cut out, and like I said, I wanted more for the characters. So I'm contradicting myself there, obviously. I'm just saying, I just don't think a film like this should have been the length it was, but it was great because it was fucking entertaining anyway. Okay, my final review for Kingsman The Secret Service is a 4.5 out of 5. It's a great film and you should really check it out.